Oh,
Coach, Dallas coach.
oh, sorry about that.
That's
Yes,
all.
I'm here. I'm here.
We go.
Yes. Injury-wise, we go with the same answer I gave the last time. Just the typical bumps and bruises, just like every team in the country. You got people banged up, playing hurt, playing sick. So Hassan obviously, still dealing with his thing, but everyone else ready to go.
We'll go Dave and Joe to start off.
Ago, their physical pressure defense really bothered you, 22 turnovers and all that. I guess the simple question is, what do you have to do better against that tomorrow? And not so much even from an X's and O's, but just maybe from like a mentality standpoint or a toughness standpoint. Is that something you kind of drilled into your team this week?
Yeah, well, some of them were just being able to, inbounds, just being able to get open and inbound the ball. But, there were a lot of the turnovers were trying to drive the baseline when there wasn't a lot of room there. Kind of sloppy passes to people through the teeth of their defense. The two things that they do that give you problems is, inbounding the ball versus, very mature, very physical, very tall athletes. And then, where their ability, because they're all, really tall, really physical, really athletic, 1 through 5, their ability to switch, switch things by design, switch things out of necessity, and then the rebounding piece. So, obviously we got off to a great start. We weren't able to sustain it. Going back and, it was a game that we obviously, led for a great portion of the game. And, we made too many mistakes. They forced us into too many mistakes to beat a really good team.
And I guess, with Hassan, I guess it's the same story really from the past month or so. Hassan, being somewhat banged up, backup point guards have been an issue. I mean, is that a little bit amplified again tomorrow, or?
Yeah, I think there's pressure teams. I mean, listen, it's in all sports, there's matchups that suit your team better than others. Obviously, teams that pressure you, and take us out of some of the things we like to run in the half court with the switching. Those are challenges, for our team. Just based on the deficiencies that have been apparent, with this team the whole year. But we've also been able to we're able to do a lot of positive things that first time, which I was pleasantly surprised by our ability to to win the backboard and and obviously the turnovers were our undoing. But there's a reason why the defense is ranked as high as it is, and the defense and the rebounding, the way they put pressure on the paint are their strengths of their team.
Thank you.
You got it.
Dan, obviously, last time Sampson got into foul trouble, but Terrace Reed held his own in that matchup with Zuby Ejiofor. I guess, what works, in that matchup, and is that something that you could see happening more tomorrow?
Yeah. Obviously, don't know how games are gonna play out. Um, this is an obvious opponent where we're gonna need the best, most ferocious version of Paris. Just because the environment, will be a pretty intense, crowd. A Sunday noon tip there. It's we need Taris to show up. With a real urgency and an edge to him, and a life and death type of approach to every rebound he could get, every finish around the rim, every post defense, every chance to protect the rim. I can't be in a situation where I'm subbing Taris out because I feel like he's not getting after it. That will be a spell doom. DOMM. DOOM.
Thank you.
We'll go Dom, DOM, and then Roger C, then Roger R.
Nice, Bobby. Thank you.
Gotcha, Coach.
Okay.
Thank you for spelling that correctly, Bobby. Appreciate that. Hey, Dan, I wanted to ask you about kind of the contrasting philosophies here. Rick Pitino has said a few times, and this week again, that he can't replace the players he's going to be losing with high school kids. He's not even going to recruit high school kids as much anymore, focus strictly on the portal. You've mentioned a few times that you've now have a younger team in a game that's getting older. So I'm wondering if you've reflected on that at all, and if you're still as committed as you've always been to the player development piece the way you are, or if you're thinking about maybe adjusting that a little bit.
Yeah, I think when you're going through a season like this, after the seasons we've had, in your mind, you're evaluating a lot of things as you're preparing for the next opponent and trying to get the most out of your team. I think obviously having the balance. I think in a perfect world, you could maintain enough culture pieces, and just hit it right in the portal. But I would say, anytime you go through a year season like we're going through after the success we've had, it forces you to think about things. You're watching, obviously, the teams that are having the most success, and continuing to evaluate the way that you put things together. But I do think investing in young players, being able to have high impact freshmen like a Steph Castle, or a Liam McNeely, or high contributors like a Donovan Klingon and Alex Caravan. It's just you can't you can have talented young players, but you've got to have strong older players, and you can't miss on your portal. You can't miss on the pieces you add in the portal.
All right, thanks, Dan.
Yeah, and after last game, Patino said that he thought the difference as the game went on is that they just wore you out. You guys didn't have shooting legs in the second half to keep up with them. You have to take a different approach given their style of full court pressure, or do you just believe your guys, can shoot better in the second half this time?
Yeah, I think some of the, I think we were able to obviously, be in a position where, with a 14-point lead in the first half, had a couple of, wide open looks from three to extend it and create some distance. But they're a really good team. Pressure defense does have, cumulative effect on your decision making and and fatigue. I thought we had more trouble with the overall quality of the half court defense, the physicality, the size, the ability to switch everything on and off ball. And then I would say that we had a couple of ugly possessions where Liam threw a two-hand overhand pass to Solo long that he saved through to Taras, and then Taras ran somebody over. Like that. Did those two guys do that because they were tired? I don't know if they did that because they were tired. I think it was just we did some. We made some bad mistakes, but the overall quality of their half court defense, I think, was what makes it tough on you. They scramble, they rotate, they guard the ball. That's a formidable defense.
Thank you.
Dan, Roger Rubin in New York here.
Hey, Roger.
Hey, I wanted to ask you a little bit about the environment. Now, we've all seen it. You have a really passionate fan base, and they've frequently been able to turn a game at the Garden into something that feels like a home game for the Huskies. Have you ever marveled at the way that they've been able to do that? And do you expect something similar on Sunday?
Yeah, I remember playing in college and at Continental Airlines Arena, and the buses were coming in from Connecticut when they started to get it rolling, and it was a strange type of phenomenon because of all the alumni and fans with the 6 championships since '99 was created a fan base in the tri-state, now across the country. But yeah, it's I'm sure that it's something that for St. John's fans, as a diehard and a true fan, for the last couple of years, it's probably been a frustrating thing. Maybe see a 50-50 split with the crowd, or 60-40, 40-60, whichever direction. But maybe because we're not as good as we've been, and they're a lot better than they've been. I'd imagine the split tomorrow is going to be 70-30 against. Maybe I'm being a little negative, but about what our turnout will be. But yeah, I guess that's my answer.
Thanks, Dan.
Got it, Roger.
See Jaden in here, and Zach will wrap it up.
Hey, Dan, can you hear me?
I can.
Following
I
up
can hear
on
you, brother.
Yeah, doing good, doing good. Following up on the question that Roger just asked about the crowd at the Garden, MSG has always given you good mojo. How much more does the Gonzaga game in December with a near sellout crowd that you guys played and beat them in, how much does that help this group in a game like this where they've been in the atmosphere and they know what to expect?
Yeah, I think it obviously, this is not, I know we've had we have a heck of a string of performance at MSG and, in New York, Barclays last year in the tournament. So this is, a lot of those men are no longer in uniform. But we certainly got the good mojo there. I think, Liam playing well in there versus Gonzaga, certainly going to help him. Some guys that having, a level of having won championships in there, had championship moments, makes you feel better. But in the end, we're not going to be able to, it's not going to be worth a whole lot because it's just, it's our team this year versus their team this year. And we got to take the things we did well from game one, where we got up 14 and use those things and take the things that cost up that lead and try not to do those things.
Thanks, and good luck tomorrow.
Thanks, brother.
What's up, Dan? It's Zach with the Post.
Hey, Zach.
Hey, how are you? There's
Good.
somewhat of a question of RJ Lewis playing tomorrow. Has like a groin. How different would they be without him? And what do you think how important was he for them in that first win against you guys?
Yeah, I mean, he's an NBA player. I mean, when you put two, 6'6", crazy physical, two-way players and big-time rebounders with him and Kandari at the guard spots with Smith and Sam or whoever else they put on the perimeter. I mean, it's an intimidating tandem, just with the fact that, again, they're two-way players and they're on the glass and they're both highly efficient scorers. So, from our experience with Liam or injuries throughout the year, it's never a positive thing to take 18 a game and a potential player of the year candidate in the league off the court. But, I'd imagine he's not going to want to miss this one tomorrow.
Thanks, Dan.
You got it, bud.
Don't see anything else up. Last chance. See you at the Garden.
Everyone enjoy the games today.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.